All right, so today we are going to look at the cut capo. It looks like this. It's a small little capo, meant for 3 strings. And I want to show how you use it and apply it to contemporary church music. There's a lot of artists like Steve Angrisano, Sarah Hart, Josh Blakesley, Ben Walther, Jesse Manibusan, and a bunch of others that use this capo a lot. And you'll hear it in the recordings. It sounds like they're playing in like an alternate open style tuning, but in reality, they're using this capo. And then when you see the sheet music, when you go to buy the song, you'll see that the chords are nothing like that, and you can't get that sound. So I'm going to show you how you use this little $40 capo, maybe 35, but and how you use this and how it kind of opens up this world of alternate tuning playing for church music and other stuff without ever having to change the tuning of your guitar. So the first thing I want to start with is saying to be familiar with open E style chords. And open E style chords is where you want to try to keep your B string and your E string open throughout the time of your playing. So maybe you had a song in E, A, B, C minor, F sharp minor, B, right? That's just standard chord progression. But you can also play it up here. And rather than playing an E like this, which is hard, right? Nobody likes to play their E like that. But if you were to take the root note of that, right? This is our A shape. If you were to take the root of that, and you get the 5th, and then the root again, and you want to keep these 2 strings, your B and E, open. So it'll look like this when you're playing, okay? So you go 1, 5, 1, as far as the pitches. And that you don't have a third, so you notice it kind of has a droning sound to it. There's no third in there. And so when you were going to play it B over D sharp, it would look like this. Okay, so you're here, right? This finger does not need to be there. I just leave it there for this shape. So you kind of go like that. You want to practice going. Ooh, sorry. Okay, and then now you would walk down to a C sharp minor. And again, we're trying to leave these 2 strings open, so you don't need your C sharp minor to look like a B minor, right? B minor up 2 frets. You can kind of get rid of the middle finger, and you can get rid of the bar. So you're only gonna play this note, and then it gives you this nice add 9 style to it, or 11th, however you look at it. And then when you would slide down to a B, it would be the same exact thing. All right, so you have root, 5 roots. And so if I was to go down, sometimes I use this finger to kind of like, if I accidentally hit the low E when I don't want it, and that's what I'm doing there. So this is going to apply into this cut capo really quickly. So then if you think there's an A chord, and you know you can play your A chord like this. A lot of people when they're playing in the key of E, they like to play like an add 9 or an 11. You can also play it here. It's a little bit more fancy sounding. But if you were to play an A bar chord, what if you got rid of this? Now, what if you just did the low root and you didn't bar it? So you have your traditional E shape, right? Starting from here, and you slide it up to the 6th and 7th fret. And if you want that root, right, you get that there, and these 2 strings are open. And then you slide it up again, and it's the same exact shape. I'm not changing anything. So it's an E shape, even without it. And if you want to be one other shape, you could do your B minor, or I guess here it would be a C sharp minor. You can play it like that. What I'm doing here is this. I've got my low, and then you're kind of muting that A string. Then on the D and the G, they're all on the, what is that, the 9th fret. Touch my screen real quick. So, and then you can still have these strings open. And it's the same chord as this. It's just an alternate position. These shapes are going to start playing into this cut capo. So one thing I do a lot with these A chords here is I'll just take these fingers off and I'll just play it here. Okay, you can still slide it up, And if you ever see something that says like A and then B over A, that's that 5 over 4. 4 chord, 5, here's the 5, here's the 4. Okay, so now let's add this capo one. That is a very quick run through. I tend to play my F sharp minors like this in this tuning. So if you were to go here, right, you've got this nice, you don't need any of it. You can literally just go leave these 2 fingers down and then put this on the G string to cover the A. And then your high 2 E, your B and E are open. If you can wrap your thumb over, you can go. That's all you need. Okay, those are really your shapes. And so as we put this on, this goes 2 frets over the nut. And so this allows you to play a cheated version of playing in dadgad, or I'm sorry, that open E tuning, but you can kind of use D shapes. So if I was to now go to D, right, you can play all your chords, all right? But you're in the key of E now, right? Because the key that you're playing in with this capo is whatever the low E strings nut is on, right? So if you think about it, we're on an E here. So if I was to slide this up to the 3rd fret, that gives us the key of, what is that, G, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you first how to take those E chords. So now we're here. So now I'm still playing the exact same chords I was without the capo on here. Okay, but now I'm gonna put the cut capo on. And it's gonna start feeling like you're playing in the key of D, but you're really not playing an E. All right? You're playing a G, right? Same thing. All right? Now, let's make it more the key of D. But I just want you to keep in mind that the point is to keep these 2 strings open as much as possible. That's what we're trying to do, make the guitar sound alternate tuning. So when you go to play in cut capo, I'm gonna slide this up to the 3rd fret because I wanna reference a place at your table, a song by Walther that uses the cut capo. Okay. So now I'm in the key of G. I'm feeling like I'm playing in D, right, with my chord shapes, but in reality, I'm in the key of G. Let's fix that a little bit, make that a little prettier. There we go, that's better. So, you can play all your regular D shapes with no changes. But now you can kind of, with this, you can kind of play this hybrid tuning. So the chord D, like dog, you can play like this. It's a lot like this. The same chord. You can do this. You can do this. Okay? You can do this. So any of these shapes, it depends on if you want to have the 3rd really ring out, right? If you want the 3rd, you use this ring finger on the 4th fret of the D, and you get that chord shape. So now when you go to your D can pretty much play around wherever. A lot of these notes start to double like you would be in an alternate tuning. So I'm gonna slide my chair up just a little bit. There we go. So whenever I'm playing this chord, this is my general startup for D. Now when I go to play a G, right, regular G, I usually, I tend to put my, the 5th there, make it a little bit more sonorous, but you don't have to. See here with the cut capo on, it makes it an add 9. So that might be something to consider if you want that sound or not. But you can start getting lazy with these chords. You don't have to play as many notes or fingers. So you can play your G like this. All right. All I'm using is the B and the G as far as the shape of the G chord. I'm not doing anything here. I can, but I don't have to. All right. And now another way you can play the G is by imagining you're in a bar chord, right? Okay, the same way I was showing you in open E tuning, where you're kind of here, right? But you can kind of play that either way. So it's the same thing here. So this is an E shape from the first fret, right? That's pretty. We'll get to that in a second. I usually will put my thumb down, or not my thumb, my first finger to kind of get that root. But if I don't want it, I won't worry about it. If you slide it up 2 frets, you get your A. If you want that. Okay? It's pretty straightforward. So there's your G. A lot of times we'll do our A chord, we'll kind of slide these 2 fingers up. Or if you want it to sound more like this, or if you want less of the root, or if you want less of that, you can go. Okay, that's pretty much how you do the D chord right here, and that's how you do your G chord and your A chord. You can do it there. You can do it here. Right, it's just an E chord, just an E bar chord, right? Or what you might think of as an F, right? An F chord like this, but you're here on the 3rd fret. You can remove it if you want. You can slide it up. You can slide it off. You can play parts of these 3 notes in here. So I wouldn't do this one. Sorry. Oh, I'm on the wrong fret. Sorry. And really what this is, it's the G string and then that note. And it's really just part, so if you were to play the bar chord, it would be the middle finger and the 4th finger. It would be those notes. So if you want to, another thing you can think about is this, so that looks like this. Okay, that's how that works. If you ever think of songs that have that 4 chord 5/4, right? Okay, so there's a lot of, that's what I mean. It's nice to understand how open E chords work. It's not an alternate tuning, it's just playing to try to kind of keep this B and E open. When you learn that, you can really apply it here in the key of D quite easily. A B minor, same thing when we were talking about the C sharp minor when we were playing an open E. You're just basically, if you have a B minor chord, take this whole finger off. And if you want, you really don't even need this finger. Okay? That's all I'm doing. Those are on the same fret. B minor. And you're getting these add alternate tunings when you do this. So this is typically how I'll play a B minor. And then if you ever have that walk, and now you can use your E major in this really cool sound, or you can do it here and get rid of the, right, that's a B minor walking down to, what is that, a major 2 chord. So there's your B minor, walk it down, open, and an E chord in this guitar cut capo sounds killer. I normally will use it when I'm in the cut capo. It sounds so good. I'm not playing cut capo, so I usually go like this, which is a way to play a first inversion of a chord where the 3rd is on the low E string. This finger's optional, but you don't play the high string, but you can in this tuning. I just don't like it. So I'm mostly showing you how you can apply it to walking through these chords. So if I was here, a D chord, I'm gonna walk to a G. I'm gonna go to an A, slide it up, play D like this. Maybe I want a little less. Maybe I want I don't like that. Maybe I want to add 2, B minor, and go. Go to the minor chord. There's a new chord we can play. So E minor, right? You can play it like this and let the low D kind of ring out, or in this case it's a G, but you can let it ring out, or you can do, I don't like it all the time. Sometimes you want the voice leading the bass part to be right. And so in that case, you can take your first finger and you write it right behind that capo. and then you go like this. Or, and that's more like a traditional E minor. You still have the cut capo sound of those two strings being open. So, say I went to this major E chord. Now I want B minor. See, if you look at this closely, all I'm doing is I'm playing this note here and this note here. The rest of the guitar is open, and it sounds like this. Beautiful. You can do this. If depending on the capo, if you want that that minor ninth sound to it. That's kind of hard to get that, to be honest with you. The higher the capo is, the easier that is with the cut capo, but it is possible to do. So let's do a D. Let's do a simple progression. So we would go D, G, A, D. Now maybe I want to add the third. G. Let's change the way we play the G. Let's go here. We're gonna go up to the 5 chord, the A. Now let's do the B minor next. We're gonna walk down. Now we're gonna go minor. You want to get rid of those two fingers? There's just so many options. See, all I'm doing there is I'm kind of adding some of the chord back in, right? So whenever we play these songs, it's not exactly, oh, I have to play it exactly right. You can play this cut capo in so many ways that's really crafty. So let's look at the place at your table for a second. So the melody kind of goes. When I listened to it and tried to get it right, I didn't hear the third in the beginning, except right there, there's our third. So he's just going G, 2 fingers. And then he's playing his E minor. He's letting that low E string ring out. He's not doing this, but you can if you want, right? It just gets to be kind of, you just want to be careful when you're using the cut capo that you need to be nimble. But I think it sounds really good to go. So that melody is. Sorry. Then you play a 5 chord. Minor. That's all it is. And he starts out with the D. And he's pretty much walking down to a G, 4 chord. Now he's doing the minor. So, and then on the first time through, he plays a 5 chord. You could do it here. That's how I think I did it in my original recording, was I went. And it sounds great. I like it, but then sometimes I might go. Yeah, why not? We're here. I won't do that one. That doesn't sound right for the song. But you have the option. And you can find the voicing that A works for your fingers. Either way, as long as you have these 2 strings that are kind of ringing all the time and you're kind of letting the melody play, you're looking for the melody in your fingers, and you really just need to use like 1 or 2 fingers to lock down the chord, right? So if I'm playing a D, my D is locked down in this, okay, I know we're in cut capo here. I'm gonna treat it like we're in the key of D, even though we're in the key of G. So there's my root. So now I can just play the melody. Right? And you can kind of noodle. Now my G is my 4 chord. Okay? Maybe I want. And then my E minor. really, the whole thing just kind of rings when you hit it, but then you're ready to go. And he likes to slide a lot. He goes. Happy the ones whom you call here to die, the saints and the sinners. Or you can go, the saints and the saints. You can play your A like that, your 5 chord. There's another way to do it. So, happy the ones whom you call here to die, the saints and the sinners, your friends. So, playing that D, and then I'm just leaving this finger on. Why not? It sounds good. Happy the ones whom you call here to die. 5 chord, the saints and the sinners, your friends. I'm just playing that old B minor shape. You can even leave that there. It sounds great, right? I was doing the B minor, and I just added the G there. And you get this beautiful, beautiful chord, right? So it's like a ninth and a, definitely got ninth in there. But anyway, and plus a 6, ninth and a 6. There you go. So you get to kind of move around. Now reconciled in this banquet divine, a promise of life. Maybe I just feel like playing an A chord. Life without end. The promise of life without end. So let's do that section real quick. So so you get now reconciled in this banquet divine. Now the C sharp minor is really a B minor. The promise of life without, the promise of life without G is 4, walking down to 1/3. And then you get this E minor 7. Promise of, and then 5 chord, wrong song. Life without, and then you have it says A over E, right? So E is the key in the sheet music. So in here you're playing a 4 chord over a 1 chord, which gives you this sound. There's the 1, there's the 4 chord. Right? See, that's a 4 chord with the root on the 4. Here's a 4 chord over 1 down there. Okay. And then he says, here in your presence, the greatest release. It's E minor 7. Here in your presence, the greatest release. Just an A, however you want to play it. What I would recommend, wouldn't play the 7th. Don't avoid the A7 chord on that. Doesn't sound good. Just notice how when you play it, you want it to be fluid. You have the options of going, here in your presence, the greatest release. Or here in the presence, the greatest release. Or here in your presence, the greatest release. You just need to be able to get to it smoothly, right? If you have a hard time moving from here to here, go here. Here in your presence, the greatest release. The burden find rest and the hungry can speak. So don't be afraid to pick this for a moment rather than this, or this, or this. Whenever you're moving around, you get one at a time, get the chords into your hands, and then you can kind of start changing it. Then we sing the Love We're Invited, it's E minor 7. Love We're Invited, right? And then you get an A chord. And so I never pay attention on these songs, these charts. If it says like 7, it's not always right. If it says sus, usually sus is right, but a 7th in a lot of these church songs is just saying that because somewhere in the melody they're singing a 7th. They have the way they print their chords is it will judge the measure and say, okay, well, what notes of a chord are present that defines the chord. So, for example, where it says "Mercy Prevails," the melody is "Mercy Prevails," which is the 7th. But if you play the 7th, it sounds weird. Right? So just let them. Love we're invited, your mercy prevails. I'm just playing a regular old 5 chord the way I like to play it, and my voice is singing the 7th. So don't let that sheet music trick you up. Sometimes it's not always accurate. That's all I'm going to say. So God, in your goodness we share. You can play this cool. Share. So it says A major 7. It's a G major because of the key we're playing in. So you can play it like this, right? You can do here. In my opinion, I think whenever you're playing chords that are in the lower half of the guitar's area of the string frequency range, and all of a sudden you add this high note in here, it doesn't always make sense. Since we're already here, God in your good, right? We're basically playing in these lower strings. God in your goodness we share. That's the same thing. So this note, the same note. So all I'm doing is playing exactly like a G chord. My finger's on the 4th fret of the D string, and everything else is open. And that is rich, isn't it? So, God in your goodness we share. And you don't even have to take the finger off. You're playing in B minor. God in your goodness we share. All right, a place at your. Whenever I do the D over F sharp, I always play it with my thumb. I am not one to do this very often. I like using my thumb. So we share a place at your table. A place at your table. All right, so there's our chord. That's that G major 7. D over F sharp. E minor 7. And then however you want to play your 5. They all sound good in this little tuning thing with the cut capo. Now you get the C chord. It's again, it depends on if you're looking at the sheet music. Sheet music is in the key of E, but you get the C chord. I normally play in this, whenever I have a cut capo on, I usually play a 4-finger C with the 5th on the bottom. To bring liberty. So, place at your table. To bring liberty to the captives inside, to all who are blind. We are sent in love, in power by your bread of life. Right, then you get here in the presence, the greatest of these. The burden find rest and the hungry can speak. I lost music there. So at any rate, when you play C, you can play it open, but it kind of has that 5/4 sound. There we go. Right, it has that slide sound. So I normally will play it with the 5th. So really, to play this tune, you can, if you learn this, you can play any song in cut capo. You don't have to necessarily play it exactly how I played it here. I just want to show you that there's a lot of ways to kind of get around this cut capo. There's some great songs. Let me think for a moment. There's like Leading Us Home is a great example of this melody that he uses here. He does it, it's in the key of F. So we're playing. Now there is that, I told you there was an alternate play of the B minor, right? So you can play B minor here, you can B minor, take this finger off, take it all off these 3 fingers. You can play your B minor up here, which is all on the same fret. It's like a jazz shape. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could have this finger here, but you can just mute it. So you get low E, mute the A, D, and G. You let these 2 strings ring out. So, you are the potter, we are the clay. You are the shepherd guiding the way. You are the star that... And then you get this awesome minor chord right here. So this is basically getting to a G minor. So it's you don't need this finger anymore. Don't play the A string or this, because that's a major, unless you're going to do this. which you don't need. It's just, it's excessive. So he goes like this, and then he slides it down like this. So basically, just look at my fingers. He's on the G string here, 3rd fret, and the low E string, and all he's doing is this. E major and E minor. And then he does. This is the same thing. You'll hear them a lot. They go. They do that a lot when they're not playing a cut capo, but you can recapture that. So that's how you play with this cut capo. You can still play in all your regular keys, or D. You're playing in D. You're not playing in F. You can if you play all of our chords, but you're not playing. I wouldn't really play this as G as my center. Not impossible, but it's really meant, like, it's like you're playing in, I call it EGAD, like you're playing in this hybrid between open E chord structures and, like, if you had dadgad. A lot of these shapes are similar to dadgad, except you don't have this string being down a whole step in addition to everything else. So it's really a cool tuning, and it's really versatile. You can play all day like this. I was doing the responsive psalm today. We were going, praise the Lord, my soul. Praise the Lord, my soul. Or if you know, like the tune Remembrance from Matt Maher. Oh, how could it be that my God would welcome me into this mystery? Say, take this bread, take this wine, now the simple made divine, for any to receive. By your mercy we come to your table, by your grace you are making us faithful, and as we worship you, our worship leads to communion. I tend to play my A. If I do play a whole A, I tend to do a sus A like that. I'm not a huge fan of the sound of a C sharp on an A chord naturally, so it's hard to get the intonation right. So I'm going to stop there. I think I've kind of gone over how to use this capo. It's awesome. It's, once you get it down, just try to figure out how to noodle in D, and then everything will come to you. And you can go through this video and look at the shapes and how to play a D chord. All right, there's a lot of different ways you can play it here. And it's just a lot of fun you can have with this tuning. So give it a go. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to kind of walk through something. The idea was not just to show how to play one tune, but to show you how to play all the tunes, and use that place at your table as an example. It's awesome, and just enjoy it. It's just, you kind of get used to it. When you're playing in church, a lot of times you might say, yeah, I'd love to have a guitar that I can have an open D tuning, right? Or some drop tuning. This is the shortcut for one guitar. You don't have to have multiple guitars to do it. And so just enjoy it and try to get used to playing and find the scales. All right. Happy practicing, and I'll see you on the next one.